What's going on, guys? This is my post-ride review of the Yamaha XSR 900. Gotta send a huge shout out to Hunter, Tommy, and the rest of the gang over at Stub Cycles for allowing me to bring this bike to you. And in the description below, you'll find a link to the ride-along video. That way you can see this machine in action and you can catch my reaction to it in real time. So let's dive into it. First of all, we got to talk about the aesthetic. The XSR 900 does retro exceptionally well. And I got to tell you, in the white orange with gold wheels, there is no video, there is no picture you're going to see of that bike that does it any justice. It is drop dead pretty to look at. But it's not just the looks, guys. It's the engine within. This motorcycle really is nothing more than a vessel for the CP3 engine. Guys, with 117 horsepower and 70 foot-pounds of torque, which by the way seem to be available at any RPM, this motorcycle delivers a mid-throttle, mid-range shove better than many leader class motorcycles that I've ridden. The Honda Hornet CB1000 does not have a mid-range shove the way that the XSR 900 does. By the way, neither does the GSX S1000. It's not to say that those motorcycles make less power, they don't, quite a bit more, but where it counts, riding on the street, that CP3 engine has got a lot to say for itself. So in saying all of that, God, it's such a playful engine, and well, at least in this chassis, and what a good looking chassis that it is. What's not to love? Well, I gotta say, the XSR 900 is very softly sprung, and although that can be dialed out, it is something that's worth mentioning. Right out of the box, this thing is not, well, I wouldn't say that it's set up properly for proper canyon carving. You're gonna have to dial it in a little bit, but for street duty, I gotta say, it's pretty nice. Soaks up a lot of bumps very easily, so in that respect, you might wanna leave it where it's at if you're never gonna be speed demoning this thing around. But the seating position, well, mainly the rider's position, is the only other gripe that I think I would have with this motorcycle. It's not that it's uncomfortable. It's almost like it's too comfortable. The bike sits very upright, but the aftermarket has got quite a few remedies for this, quite a few lower bars to make that motorcycle a bit more sporty. Again, couple that with some suspension tweaks, a tune and exhaust, and next thing you know, you've got yourself the makings of a retro hot rod that's going to be exceptionally difficult to deal with if you are putting it up against some of the likes of the other competition out there, especially if the criteria is to have a good-looking hot rod on the street that is capable on your favorite B and C roads. And it's in saying that I came away from this bike with a better understanding of where Yamaha and why Yamaha is going with this CP3 engine with the R9 and why Yamaha went with this particular power plant. It's that mid-throttle hit that is so addictive with this motorcycle. And when I say that it's more than some of these leader class bikes that I've mentioned, it's significantly more. It's noticeably different. Part of that's probably due to weight. There's some other things like gearing that could come into play, but this is a motorcycle that has to be ridden to appreciate. You can look at it and see that it's a great looking machine, but that doesn't tell the whole tale. So would I own one becomes the next question, and I had to really pine this over because, well, the more I spent time with this bike, the more I could envision putting a solo tail cowl on the back, the revised handlebars, definitely diving into some suspension tuning with that machine. You can see where this goes. I mean, I actually had to take a little bit of time away from this bike to do the post-ride review because, well, let me be honest with you. If it sounds like I'm gushing all over this bike right now, it would have been far worse when I just threw a leg back off of that motorcycle. For the right audience, this is the right bike. Nobody really has done retro in this kind of way. The way that it stacks up to, say, a Z900 RS from Kawasaki, it just doesn't. The Kawasaki almost takes itself too seriously, where the XSR is just so much more playful. And anything else that's out there is going to be prohibitively expensive, or it's not going to be able to match wits with this thing when it comes to power. Overall, I would say it is the top of the food chain when we're talking about that level of value and performance in one package. But again, It all depends on what you're going for and how much work you want to put into that bike to really get it to be a top performer, but it can be done. And I got to tell you, for those of you that put the work in and put the time in on your own, I'm a little bit jealous because I came away from this a little bit too smitten with that motorcycle. But with that, guys, post up your comments. Let me know what you think. If you made it this far in the video, please consider smashing that subscribe button. It helps the channel way more than you know. And with that, guys, I hope to catch you on the next one. Take care.